So let me share now a few words on the idea on dialogue, because basically our podcast will be all about that. This is the inaugural 0 episode where I'm talking all by myself, but from the next episode on, I will be always inviting some guests. So dialogue will be the norm, so to say, in our Free Radical podcast. So a few words about dialogue, since today we are introducing with what this podcast will be about. So dialogue, the very etymology of the word comes from two interacting logoi, dialogo. Logoi means word. So two words, so to say, interacting with one another, which means like a crossing from our world into another world, into the world of the other, for the sake of sharing experience. That's a big adventure, real dialogue. For the sake of mutual understanding, for the sake of empathy, of mutual trust. That's dialogue. That's the type of dialogue we want to foster throughout this project. So dialogue is kind of a meeting of horizons, so to say, which will enable each of the two parts involved, so to say, in this case, to return to their own world with a deepened horizon of meaning, a deepened horizon of purpose, deeper perspective. So that's real dialogue. By contrast to that, any dialogue who doesn't include these attributes, a dialogue that is not self-expansive, is self-limiting. And of course, the self-limiting dialogue is basically a monologue. It's not a dialogue. It's a monologue where we end up talking to ourselves. And sometimes all this happens in the name of dialogue, in the context of dialogue. So we are asking here all of you for your prayers so this does not happen. We are promoting dialogue, and we want not a monologue in the name of dialogue, but dialogue in the name of dialogue. So this is the basic purpose and intention of our Free Radical podcast, to have deep conversations, to have vulnerable moments of sincere introspection and empathy, while addressing in a compassionate way, but also in a committed way, those situations, those patterns, and those ways of thinking that may be getting in the way of us properly being proper spiritual practitioners, proper sadhakas, proper human beings, all of which should be fully aligned and integrated. Our humanity, our spirituality, our particular needs in the context of those